Hello, I'm now 2 months on testosterone, so I'm back to talk about some of the changes. I have a list here because this month it's been sort of a lot of little things, so I wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything. So if I'm looking down, that's because I'm reading my list. Alright, so I already mentioned this starting last month, but there has been noticeable but slight amounts of muscle growth, especially in my arms. The fat redistribution has also been noticeable. I feel like my chest is a bit smaller, and just overall things have changed a bit. I feel like my face might be a bit rounder, which I've heard people on testosterone talk about happening in the first couple of months. It might also just be my imagination though, like that's not super pronounced, so I'm really not sure. One thing I am sure about in regards to my face, my acne has really started this month. Like it went from, oh, I have one pimple, that's unusual, my skin's usually super clear, to just, you cannot see it in this frame I don't think, but the entire lower half of my face is a mess. Okay, it's not actually that bad, I just haven't had acne since I was like 13, so I hate it. Sigh, but I expected it. That was something I knew would happen. At the end of my last video, I complained about how much more I sweat. I've gotten that under control. It was just kind of a surprise at first and something I had to get used to, but whatever. It didn't take that long to just adjust my daily routine a little bit and deal with it. My mustache is also starting to thicken. Once again, not enough that you can really tell in this frame from this distance, but enough that I can really personally see it, and my partner has mentioned it too. I always had fuzz on my upper lip like everyone does, but it used to be noticeably thicker on this side, whereas it's all evened out to about the amount that it was here in the thickest spot before. So that's cool. I don't know how long it'll take before I have like the wispy 14-year-old boy mustache, and I also don't know how I feel about the fact that that'll be a thing, but we'll see. Once again, I still think my voice is changing. Not enough for anyone else to really notice, but my voice feels frailer when I'm talking higher than I normally do, like when I'm doing the whole customer service, trying to be polite voice, it feels weaker, and it's more comfortable talking lower. I mean, I've also more or less trained myself to speak lower over the last couple of years, so that's not unusual. It's something I've noticed has become even more comfortable and richer feeling. I've also noticed, and this isn't really yes, it's a testosterone thing because it's related to my hormone levels, but this isn't like if you're trans and on testosterone, these things will happen to you type of thing. But I have noticed some of the issues that I had during my first puberty coming back up. So, for example, my anxiety and depression are acting up just a little bit, not super bad. I am on medication for my depression, and it has been definitely helping. It's just more pronounced than it has been the last year or so. Enough so that if it keeps acting up or gets worse, I might talk to my psychiatrist and see about changing my dose or my medication or something to just deal with it. Once again, it's not a major problem, just kind of annoying. Another thing I noticed is I've been having some minor stomach problems. I had actually totally forgotten that during my first puberty I had issues with certain types of food and stuff, but now that it's happening again, I'm like, oh yeah, that was a thing. Sugar used to make me sick, and caffeine and grease and so many things. So I'm gonna have to change my eating habits a little bit and pay more attention to what I'm putting in my body, because I'm just more sensitive at the moment, I guess, to do with my hormone levels and stuff. All in all, I know a lot of this sounds like pretty negative, but I am still really happy with how things are going. Of course, there are parts of it that I would opt out of if that were possible, like the acne. But, I mean, you can't have one thing without having all the things, and I'm currently, overall, the positives definitely outweigh the negatives.